I know, we're best friends.
Most of this interview is going to be like, oh my gosh,
oh my gosh, I need that. Right. Ed, this is going to be a weird one for us. I hope you know that.
All right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because we're both totally starstruck right now.
I mean, we started with wine and beer. Should I get a tequila out? That'll do.
We're so awkward. It's just painful.
No, but it's great because I'm awkward too. So.
Oh, good. Welcome aboard the Funny Boat Podcast. I am your host, Captain Boomies, and you might be hearing a little bit of a grumble in the background, and that is the cutest little floof that's ever floated a boat, Barnacle. And we're here with Sophie from Ryan and Sophie Sailing. But I also, of course, have the broker with the beard. How you doing, Ed?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a great day, and I've made a new friend.
She's crying. She wants to. She's like, Ed, why are you not grabbing this octopus and playing tug with me?
Oh my God, this is so fun. I'm so excited. I've got a whole new setup here, all new equipment for me. So please excuse me while I fiddle with it a little bit, and wish us luck as we interview Sophie.
Yeah. I'm so tough. It's probably going to be rough.
Well, so here's what's going on. Barnacle, you adorable monster. You haven't been this exciting the whole time we've been here, but I'm okay with that because really just so cute. But you're stressing me out because when I think about boat dogs, I usually think of much larger boat dogs.
Yeah.
And you picked a tiny one.
I know. But we're training her to be a polar bear hunter.
Oh,
you know?
That's important.
Size and personality, you know, are two different things. So we're like, okay, we get a small size so that it would be practical. But we're training her to be that guard dog that people aspire to when they get a large dog. And she's very intimidating, right? Like look, you've heard her.
Right.
You've heard the growl. She is intimidating.
I did see my life flash before me momentarily.
Right. So we're currently training her with this plushy purple octopus. And we're slowly upgrading to full-size polar bear.
Oh, wow. That's quite the jump.
Yeah, it's probably going to take a few years.
I mean, I think you're doing great because she already knows to go after Ed here.
Right.
So that's working out just fine.
The broker senses went off.
Thank you. Barnacle, come here.
Barnacle, you adorable monster. Come here.
Barnacle. What are you barking at? She probably saw a mini polar bear.
Of course she did. Normally, I'm very comfortably in my own home. And I just have to call you and go, hey, what are you doing?
Right.
But tonight we're in a much more comfortable space, this adorable cottage in Annapolis. You're doing a lot of boat work, you poor thing.
That's right. Ryan is doing the bulk of it. I have to give him credit for that. Yesterday we replaced 2 through hulls. And if you've ever owned a Beneteau from before 2010, you have probably done that job yourself. And condolences. It wasn't fun, but we made it. So Ryan is at the boat currently. He's on his way back. We're doing anti-fouling, and because we can't really leave on board right now because the boat is at the yard. It's pretty cold here in Maryland, so we decided that we were going to rent a little house and do this comfortably while we, take care of Bodie.
I love that. I think that makes perfect sense. Now, what I should tell you is I think I introduced this whole thing by saying that Ed and I were going to be terribly awkward during this whole interview, mostly because we're both big fans of you. And with good reason, because one of the things you're doing that I love as a content creator is you're making every experience into something that's very relatable and very funny. Oh. And I'm obsessed with that. Ed here is, just became a fan because of the dog, probably.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
No, Ed's actually been a fan longer than I have. So I was worried about him. I thought he might faint when I told him that we were interviewing you.
I did fanboy pretty hard at the show. I was like, Andy, can I talk to Ryan and Sophie? He's like, yeah, come on over.
Well, that's one of my favorite things about what we're doing right now, though, is that there is this new concept of like a sailing celebrity that isn't just a yachtsman, right?
Yeah.
That's not a I did the Whitbread round the world race or something like that. It's people that, hey, I went after my dream.
Yeah. I don't think that it's necessarily new. I think that the platform and the format is new, but before there was YouTube, there were books, and people who were journalists and who wrote a lot about their experiences, because the process of making film was maybe a little too involved for sailing. It would have been really hard in the 90s and the 80s, and credit to Paul and Cheryl who did it from Distant Shores TV, but to bring a full set of camera equipment, film making equipment on board a sailboat. And these days, because technology is what it is, it's so easy to bring a camera with you. I mean, look at that. There's my phone. Here it is. You can record, get good audio, and edit from a phone and put it out online. Then, everybody who's a writer is not always a good writer, the same way that everybody who creates film is not always a good filmmaker. So I think that, we just see that there are a lot of people making films of their sailing adventure. Some are better than others. I think that a lot of people in the world of YouTube don't get enough credit for how incredible they are. I'm looking at you, Kate. Oh. Obviously, go subscribe to Captain Boomies if you haven't done it now. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button.
She's too nice. Oh my God.
But there were a lot of people who were writing about their sailing adventure before they were filming them. So I don't think that the concept is new. It's just that now it's a bit different.
You're 100% right. And I realized as soon as I said those words, the people that were going to get mad at me, including Bob Bitchin, who sends, every once in a while I get an email from him. I panic about it.
And podcasts, podcasts too. I look at our friend Andy Shell, who's been podcasting since like the early 2010. I mean, he was doing this long before we did this. As a matter of fact, we met Andy before we had a YouTube channel. I think that Andy would not have been friends with us if it had been the other way around. Hi, Andy. I love you.
I like that.
But yeah, podcasts were a big thing too.
Well, okay, so I imagine a bunch of people ask you about why you wanted to start filming all this stuff, but I don't want to ask you that. What I want to ask you is, I'm still fascinated by the fact that there is a celebrity aspect to it now. You get invited to the boat show as a personality that gets people excited to talk about boats.
Yeah, so that's I have a really hard time.
Do you?
Yeah, with that. When we initially went to the Annapolis Boat Show, we ended up at the YouTube Sailing Channel booth as, I don't know how it happened. It's just that somebody had heard that we were going to go. And honestly, we're just going to go because it's fun, right? And then we get connected to Jeff, who's the guy who organizes the YouTube Sailing Channel booth. And he was like, oh, you guys should come. And we're like, yeah, sure. And then all of a sudden we get thrown in this world of, wow, YouTube Sailing Channel. And it's great, honestly. I think that one of the reasons why a lot of channels are successful is because they're genuinely awesome people. And it very rarely fails that we meet somebody who has a successful YouTube channel and we're like, oh, wow, you do not look like the person. It very, very rarely happens. And so most of the time we just make great friends. So
that's really cool. So you actually do get to just connect, whereas Ed and I, we show up to the boat show and we go like, oh my God, it's them. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I think too that and Kate and I have talked about it multiple times, that we share that same feeling of let's go to the boat show because it's fun and it's like Christmas for us, the banners and just the environment, and you get to see what people are doing with boats now compared to what you may have or what you aspire to have.
Yeah.
And, the sailing community as a whole is great. I mean, and I think the YouTube channels just kind of extend that out a little bit more because everybody does get along. I mean, a group of us were at Davis's pub at the end of the show and just kind of like, why am I here? And
Yeah.
it was just like, hey, come on, let's go. I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, totally.
And, it's a great vibe, and it's awesome to see that excitement for boating in general, in particular sailing in this case. But do you see that back home where you're from? Is there that excitement with the YouTube
they went to
as
Boot.
well? Or is that just like
They
here?
went to Boot.
We did.
Biggest
I just saw
boat
that.
show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes and no.
Sorry, I just need to talk about this for a second. So it's on my bucket list to go to Boot.
Oh, you should. It's awesome.
Boot Dusseldorf, which I'm saying as Americanized as I possibly know how to say it. But basically, it is the largest boat show. I'm pretty sure about that. Some Australian's going to yell at me and be like, no, you're wrong. But
no, it's very impressive, and you should absolutely go. It is amazing, and there are a lot of boats. I have to say, though, that when we first went there in 2017, there were a lot more boats than now. I think that post-COVID, with the giant backlog that every manufacturer and their neighbor has, they don't bring the boats as much as they used to. The Catamaran Hall was almost empty. They were like big manufacturers that had no boat.
Yeah.
We're talking Fontaine Pajot. No boat.
And there's been a lot of restructuring too in the companies as
Yeah.
well, so that probably has a lot to do with it.
can we talk about how she says fountain?
I know, that was pretty-
pageant. Look,
Fontaine
I can't.
Pajot.
Oh my God! It sounds so much better when you say it. Like,
Fontaine Pajot.
That is not how we say it
that's
around
not
here.
how I say it at all. I actually just did a charter in the BVI on a Fontaine Pajot. Ooh, that was pretty good. I'm
was
pretty
good.
proud of that.
FP?
I give it an 8 out of 10.
I go with an FP. That's what I just shoot that in there.
I like that. But the whole time I remember thinking, I'm probably pronouncing this wrong. And then I finally looked at how it's spelled because I think I'd been saying Peugeot, like as in the car.
That's at the car, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The French language is wonderful. So many vowels that you do not pronounce, so many letters that go, down the drain. Because I don't know who decided how to pronounce French, but
I love that you even explain that in a lot of your YouTube videos. You take us through like, hey, I'm going to let you in on a little secret about how, as a French person, I'm going to experience this word.
But
you're going to be very confused.
Oh my God, Kate, you know what's funny? So I'm a French person who learned to sail in English. I do not know how to sail in French or in Swedish. So when we sailed in Sweden and in France, Ryan was like, well, you speak French and Swedish, so you're going to be the one talking to contractors or asking people if they have X or Y part that we need. And so consistently, when I'm in France and I'm asking for a boat part, I'm going to mispronounce the name of that part. And it's very embarrassing because first off, I'm a woman. I walk in the shop. People are like, come on, what are you doing here? And then I mispronounce it on top of it all. It's like those very technical little parts that no one buys. And I try to say it and I say it wrong, and it's embarrassing because I am French. I speak French like a French person. I don't have the French accent that I have in English.
It is funny because I learned plenty of French words for sailing because my J1 visa sailing instructor as a kid was French.
Oh, great.
So I'm like, I'm more than happy to.
Yeah, so you probably speak more sailing French than I do.
I speak one French sailing word.
Which one is it? Merde?
Merde.
Yeah, of course it is. It's a good one. Very useful. Probably the one that you will say the most.
One time
Multilingual.
oh God, I was in St. Bart's with a bunch of yacht crew.
Of course you were.
Of course I was. And there's a lot of French yacht crew. There's tons of them. But I was at a table with a bunch of women, and we were sitting basically in order of our French to English abilities. So at one end of the table is like only English. The other end of the table is only French. And then like progressively more blended.
That's great, though.
It was brilliant. The only things I really remember from that is learning to tell all the men that were showing up to our table, dégage.
Oh, yes.
And it was a really, really fun night. And I highly recommend meeting other sailors out in the world because they'll embrace you in weird and wonderful ways. It's so good. Cheers to that.
Cheers to them. So what did that mean?
Dégage, get away.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, it's more like fuck off.
Okay.
Get away is the nice. It's dégage is fuck off.
It was true sailors language.
Yeah, bunch of French pirates.
Yeah.
Okay, so boating celebrity is a weird thing. All of that's wonderful, and you have to do all the same stuff though that any boater has to do.
That's right. I go to the bathroom too.
Oh my God. Like, I'm just thinking about you having to do bottom paint, and it really blows.
Oh, I did that yesterday.
I'm so sorry.
It was a great day yesterday to do that.
Oh, you know what? Okay, it's so funny, but sometimes people think that we don't pay for our marina spots or our yard spots, and I'm like, in what world? Okay, no, so yes, we do the things that everybody does, right? Including bottom paint. You know what, though? I don't do sanding anymore. I did that once, actually a couple of times, and that was it. I graduated.
I would do terrible things to not have to sand ever again.
Yeah. I'll show you a picture.
I will have an OnlyFans instead of sanding.
This is actually my next Instagram post. I'm going to show it to you.
Sneak peek.
Yeah. This is an exclusivity.
Nice.
For the people watching on YouTube, we'll put it. This is what Ryan will do to get the new boat.
That's Ryan's OnlyFans. I like it. I like it a lot.
We.
If you're listening to the audio only, she just showed me a very attractive bikini-clad Ryan.
Ryan
kind of.
Ryan is a very underexploited resource when it comes to clickbait, and we're gonna change that. We realized at the boat show that YouTube was not gonna pay for our next boat. And so we need to up the game a little bit. I'm like, Ryan, you need to step up.
Right.
Step up.
Good. That's a good plan.
Sorry, I lost the thread of our conversation.
I totally
we get lost.
No,
so yeah, I do bottom paint. Yeah, I do the shitty work. Actually, you know what I'm going to do this year? I'm going to replace our toilet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Go into
electric.
That is.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know. For the last 5 years of my life, I've had a blister on my thumb because of flushing.
That's so embarrassing.
And also, I'll tell you this: I am too young to have talked to my poop so many times. Like, get away, fucker! Why are you not going down?
No, what do you say?
And usually what it turns into is, Ryan, come help me. Yeah.
Oh no.
This
This
podcast was advertised to me as there is no such thing as TMI, so we're going there.
I'm into it. Honestly, no, the number one thing that I get upset about on boats is the head.
Yeah.
That's right.
Always been a source of
Pain.
And I know
Moral distress.
Yeah, right.
Emotional damage.
and I imagine you're not allowed to really
Emotional
talk about it on YouTube as much as it really does impact your life. Like I don't think I've ever seen Vagabond talk about their toilets at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I don't actually watch any sailing YouTube channels anymore because it's not escapism anymore.
It's not? Wait a minute.
we used to I love La Vagabonde, and then it became our lives. We call ourselves Baby La Vagabonde because that's what we watched.
Yeah. I think they inspired a lot of people.
Absolutely. They did a lot of great things for the industry. But I don't watch it anymore, so I wouldn't know. But maybe Elena can relate. Maybe she also had a little blister on her thumb.
Full disclosure, I also don't watch as much as I probably should.
Why should you though?
Well,
I watch quite a bit.
Do you?
Yes.
I knew I could count on you.
Yeah, I love them. I like to see what they're doing, where they're going, the problems they have, and how they solve it. For 20 years, I was a remodeler, so it was always, here's a problem. How do we get around that? How do we fix it? So that part of sailing really attracts me to owning a boat and learning the boat and fixing it up and having to deal with the problems that come up. I like that challenge that
well, you're
that
such
you have to go against.
a surprisingly full service broker is what I'm going to call it.
Uh-oh.
Wow, that's quite nice.
Check out my OnlyFans.
Oh my God.
Anyway, like I was saying, you do check in on people that have bought boats from you. You do.
Yeah, I try to. Yeah.
And I never knew that was a part of the broker process.
It should be. I mean, it's a relationship, right? I sold a Beneteau 473 in Fort Lauderdale in October, and they're on their way north now. And they posted a video. Dolphins were at the bow, and which was really nice because when we did the sea trial, the buyer's wife took the wheel very reluctantly, and as soon as she did, all of these dolphins showed up at the bow, and there's dolphins, I love it. And I was like, yes.
Oh, that's great.
It was a great boat. It was the boat they were looking for. It was a perfect fit. But it was neat to see that video today because it just kind of like, oh, that's awesome, and made a comment, and
that's so great.
It's good to interact that way. Facebook's awesome.
That's awesome.
It can be awesome.
Well, I forget why I was talking about that though now. Something about the fact that you check in on people. Oh, right. Because, okay, you buy a boat and then you find out there's a lot more to boating than sailing. And I've taught hundreds and hundreds of people how to sail. I know that the number one thing that trips people up is actually that they get on a boat and then they find out they have to learn how to pump their head correctly. Mm-hmm. And that's not something that's usually part of the education
of the
process.
Curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, which brings me to, I love that you guys talk about it in your videos. And I love that you've created a course about it.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm also very happy about it. When we started 8 years ago, and we had no idea what we were doing, well, we stumbled on this article about Matt and Jessica, who were sailing the world. And we were like, what a cool lifestyle. Hell yeah, we're doing this. But we didn't know how to sail. We didn't know anything about boats. We had never been on boats before. And so we found it challenging to find good resources online. I think that at the time, Riley, getting back to La Vagabonde, had made this nice little ebook about how they got started themselves, and we bought it, and it was helpful. But there was no good resource that really encompassed everything that you need to know if you want to go from zero to full-time cruising. And it's always been something that I wanted to do, especially since one of my professional specialties is to create educational content. And so we launched that course in December, part one of it. It was, I have never delivered a baby in my life, but I imagine that this is how it would feel. It was a lot of work, but the result is awesome. And I'm so happy because this is really the resource that we wanted to have 8 years ago.
I was really excited when I saw that on Facebook when it came out. I mean, I think if you look back, you'll see I made a comment. But it was...
I will go. I will
best fan.
I really am. But that's because there's so many people that they see the YouTube and all the fantastic stuff.
And it looks easy.
And but they don't see the whole reality of it. And the fact that you not only gave that, but did it in such a fantastic way where it's the course and it's well laid out, well done, and it's extremely comprehensive. It can take you from point A to point Z, and you can now you have a well-educated boater out there, and I think we can all agree there's a lot of very uneducated boaters out there.
Yeah, we meet them on occasion. It's more that, you know, it's about knowing what you need to know about. Like we're not going to pretend that we're sailing instructors. We're not going to teach you how to sail. I can teach you how to flush ahead. Hell yeah, I'm a pro. I get the scores to prove it. You know, but there are a lot of things that we can't teach you about. But going to a sailing course alone is not going to teach you how to flush ahead. But it's not going to teach you what it's like to live on board, what you should think about, how to check in and out of countries, why it is so important to understand your own limitations. It's not going to teach you how to budget, how much it costs. It's not going to teach you how to maintain your boat, how to resonate about a maintenance schedule, how to look for information and how to understand how to maintain your boat, because it comes from so many different sources that it's just really hard to find. And so we wanted to talk about those topics so that when you get started, you know what you need to know about. Right. And we can't teach everything, but what we can tell you is what it is that you need to know about and where to go find that information. So yeah, and that, you know, the one thing that we're not going to tell you is what's the perfect boat. Right. We're not going to tell you how exactly you should go cruising and where you absolutely have to go, what you absolutely should do. But it's more about, okay, you want to do this. Here are the things that you need to consider. Here are different options for how to do certain things. We have chosen to do it in one way. Mm-hmm. There are many different ways to do it, 1,000 ways to skin a cat. And so we're really proud of the result.
Yeah, that's good. I think you should be. I mean, it's.
Thanks.
I'm excited. Excited for you guys.
Well, I want to tell you that I know what the perfect boat is.
Oh.
The perfect boat is a pontoon boat, but
I think we have talked about it.
Hey, Kate, I agree with you. I'll take the pontoon boat.
Does it have a tiki bar on board as well?
Yes, it does, and a cabana boy to go with
the
it.
leaky tiki is in operation.
Yeah, you know, it's really funny because so yesterday we released the video of us going to the Düsseldorf boat show. Mm-hmm. And that video is about, it's boat porn. It's like, look so at good. Those amazing boats. And we are actually looking for boat number 2. It's something that we need to think about because we are reaching the limits of what we can do with Polysteel number 1. So we're looking at it. So this is legit. I had forgotten before I published that video that the perfect boat is so individual that the idea of ranking a boat is very triggering for the community. And I think that for a lot of people, it was very informative and interesting. And it was escapism, like looking at beautiful boats is escapism. But yeah, oh my God, it was like, the comment section got triggered.
No, we talk about comments on a regular, and you've gotten some very vicious comments.
We've got some good. Oh my God, I have a little little secret folder in my laptop.
Yes,
where I take screenshots.
Oh no!
I have
listen. If you're
X-Files.
out there, look, I want you to say mean things on our YouTube. By the way, you can find us on YouTube as well if you're just listening to the audio version, and you can see how annoyingly beautiful Sophie is. She's one of those. She looks exactly like the pretty French woman that she sounds like.
Okay, do you want my best comments ever from that?
Yes, yes I do. Yes, I do.
Every time that I want to look for that comment, I look for the keyword papyrus.
I'm sorry. Wait, papyrus? Is that what you're saying? What is the word? I'm confused. What are we saying?
Papyrus. You know that parchment thing?
Oh, papyrus.
Yeah, papyrus.
Okay.
Oh, is it pronounced papyrus?
Papyrus.
Well, that's how we say
yeah.
it. That's probably wrong.
Okay, so here is my best comment ever. that I received. Here is a guy who says, this is a video about us sailing from Gibraltar to the Canary Islands, where we had giant waves, 40 knots wind. Everybody on board was seasick. It was a tough one, but you know what? We did it. And we did it with confidence. It's not that we just did it and we survived it, but we did it with confidence. We had confidence in our skills and the boat, and we did amazing. And on top of that, we handled a crew that was seasick for the entire duration of the passage. So here is the comment. Now, imagine doing this with no electronics, no autopilot, and rope for standing rigging. You attain a much greater respect for the true mariners from the age of sail. It's essentially a live computer game these days with smells and bells. Your boat did well. Okay.
What are smells and bells?
I have no idea.
Well,
But here is somebody answering that comment, and that is the best. Okay.
yeah, that is the best. Yeah, super fan.
Now, imagine writing that comment on papyrus and copying it as many times as people reading it here and bringing it to all of them on foot. No keyboard, no computer, no internet. You attain a much greater respect for the true commenters from the age of early.
I love it.
It's essentially a live computer game these days with pseudonym and superficiality. Your digital electronics did well.
Amazing.
I love our comment section. It is a blast.
I get such a kick out of the comments. It's really problematic.
Do we get comments?
We do get comments. Did you not know that?
I should probably look them up.
Oh my gosh.
So, okay, today we had a guy coming on our channel, still on that video about the Düsseldorf boat show where we talk about boats that we absolutely cannot afford, and say, oh, you guys are just lying, you're acting. Ryan owns this multi-million-dollar companies and you're filthy rich and you're putting on an act and you want to portray yourselves as poor, but you're actually really wealthy. Okay, first off, I want to say we're not poor. I would not consider ourselves very wealthy. We're rich of experiences and connections, but financially, we're like your average Joe, right? Like we are very middle class. But so I answered the guy. I was like, oh my God, thank you. I really wish that this was true, that we had all those millions to buy our dream boat. It's not the case. And the guy actually answered a couple of times and I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm sorry, this needs to be
you
beeped.
continue to engage. That's so interesting.
But okay, so I didn't know. I stopped engaging, but the guy went to check us out on LinkedIn. and that's when I'm like,
I'm trying to think what my LinkedIn looks like.
I need to maybe be careful about the comment section going forward. Yeah. So that was it. That was the story of the day from the comment section.
Okay.
Brought to you by the haters.
I'm going to reset us just a little bit just because, yes, we do have a comment section. It's super fun. And
hey guys, drop a comment. Yes. Leave us a comment.
Leave comments. Leave reviews on whatever those podcastery places are.
But be kind.
Don't be kind. No, I want to fight you. Let's go.
But be kind to me.
I mean, look at Kate. She clearly has a multi-million-dollar company. She's putting on an act.
I am totally putting on an act. No, it's really interesting putting stuff out there and letting other people have opinions about it. And I don't know what it is about me in particular.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
Oh, well, what I was gonna say is, I don't know.
Here we go.
I don't know what it is about me, but I relish it. I love when people talk.
Okay.
I love,
because I will tell you what attracts the hate more than anything when it comes to sailing, and especially on YouTube.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, YouTube is fantastic at providing you statistics about who watches your video, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your women versus men percentage?
And that number is tricky because my percentage of women is high considering that YouTube defaults to man.
Yeah. So what is your percentage?
I'm 30%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You have 30% of women watching
Yeah.
your...
Which is high.
Ours is 9.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So that tells you everything that you need to know about... yeah. And when you're a woman, it's much more difficult to be taken seriously in this industry.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, you know, there are many times that I will say something technical or related to sailing as a practice, where if Ryan said it, immediately it would become, it would feel like coming from a place of authority, whereas I'm being questioned.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah. Doesn't that happen to you? I mean, you are like... You're an accredited captain.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's unusual.
I'm an
for sure.
unusual.
Not unusual.
Yeah. Shut up.
You're a captain. You're a captain just as any other captain.
I am a licensed
That's right.
professional boat mover.
Correct.
And I get paid to help other people figure out how to move their own boats around. I'm a hired gun on a lot of different boats, but I would say that, you know, yeah, I've run up against a lot of like, oh, isn't that surprising that you're a woman boater? I bet your YouTube does really well because you're wearing bikinis and whatnot.
But that's face to face. It's very different when you interact with people from behind a screen.
Oh yeah, that keyboard courage kicks in.
The keyboard courage is interesting, but I love them. I don't know why I have a sickness that I just find them
they
hilarious.
are entertaining. You have to give them that.
Yeah.
His name, his name was Richard.
Okay, that's what I want is a name and location. That's all I need. Sophie. That's good.
And I called him Rich, and then everybody else was like, oh no, it's
His
Dick.
name is Dick.
It's Dick. I was like, oh, I'm way too gracious.
Yes.
I give people better nicknames than that.
Woo!
No, I do know that it is a problem for other women sailors. I see it all the time. They feel like they're not being taken seriously. It's a frustrating experience for them. But the reality is, I even as a professional, when I'm not being taken seriously, I see men not being taken seriously, and they're in the exact same position I'm in. And it's just because nobody's had the same experience on the water as the next person.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's probably a humility problem more than gender. There are a lot of people that are... Okay. When you're sailing, you're always new at something, right? Like,
yes.
The one thing that we've learned is that everywhere we go, we're new. And there is going to be weather patterns and a way that, you know, you sail that area.
No, you should never
different.
pick up the mooring ball that has the 3 lines on it. You like
that's
just
right.
Weird, dumb stuff out
exactly.
there. Yeah.
Or like there's a piece of equipment that you need in one place and you don't need it in another place. Whatever. So sailing really teaches you humility because everywhere you go, you're new. And I think that for a lot of people, they haven't had the opportunity to experience that and to be kept humble. And I think that sometimes judgment comes from a place of not having learned that you're always new at something and you have more to learn. Yeah.
Which is, I think, surprising because I think it's a double-edged sword. The sailing community in particular, or boating in general, you know, at the marinas, everybody wants to help you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is because everybody's been in the same exact position you've been in.
That's right.
Haven't done that, or I've had to do that. I've had to do that multiple times. I've done it wrong multiple times and had to pay to get it done right. But the fact that that attitude doesn't carry over to something else, like, that's the part that really confuses me. Like, why would somebody be that way? Like, I'm not trying to do this wrong. I'm trying to hook up to this mooring ball the correct way in the appropriate fashion and pay my dues, and I'm happy to do that. But
Yeah, well,
Maybe if you dressed more professionally, Ed.
no,
Maybe.
really, the answer is
You don't sail like this? Come on.
the reality is that everybody can sail and everybody sails. And sailing is fantastic because it's brought people in our lives from many different nationalities and social economic backgrounds. But even assholes sail.
Right, yeah.
It's a fact. I'm sorry.
I'm right here.
And clearly, and that is why you are at my house tonight.
Oh, that's good. Clearly.
I am the meanest.
That's great. I love that. I love that I have you now as a friend, so that you can come self-moderate my comment section. Please go to tell our friend Rich or
I'm on it.
how things work in life.
I do house calls. That's the problem. Knock, knock, knock.
Yeah, Ed still has to occasionally be a real person. I get to just be mean. It's great. I love it. Well, in any case, I smelled dinner, and we did get promised there was going to be food. So I'm gonna
I have one question. I have
he's
to.
making
I have
me.
to ask.
All right.
I have to ask.
I will let you.
So, thank you.
Do we need a refill before the question?
No. It's a super quick question.
Okay.
So Kate mentioned bucket list Dusseldorf Boat Show.
Yeah.
Do you have a bucket list sailing location?
Yeah, Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What part of Japan?
all of it.
All of it.
I would love to sail Japan for an extended amount of time. There is so much in Japan, but Japan is highly seasonal. And I want to go from Okinawa up to Hokkaido. I would like to sail everywhere in Japan.
I would not advise Nagoya. Very industrial.
No, but I really wanna
So
sail
is
to Japan.
Baltimore, but
Yes,
I sail there
no,
anyway.
It's like
You know what?
Baltimore 30 years ago.
Here's another place where I would love to sail, but that's unrealistic. We can sail to Japan. I would love to go sail to Russia.
Oh,
Yeah.
What are Russian
I
ports?
think, but this, nobody ever talks about Russia as a tourist destination because, I mean, obviously it's complicated. For geopolitical reasons to go to Russia, but
Right.
Russia is not entirely defined by its leaders, and there are it's a huge chunk of the world, and there are absolutely incredible places to see in Russia. It's from a geopolitical standpoint, it's inaccessible, but there are some places on that coast, which is north of North Korea. Where the coast and the islands look absolutely beautiful. And I would love to be able to go there. Fun fact. It's not a fun fact, but I love the idea of sailing because it can take you places that are not touristy, that are not marketed. I love the idea that I can go wherever I want. Now, it's not always possible for geopolitical reasons, but there are some unexploited gems in this world, and maybe exploited is not the right word, but I would love to go to the east coast of Russia. It looks amazing. Yeah.
Wow. That I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
pretty cool.
You've seen me roaming the Caribbean for the last 2 years.
I like roaming the Caribbean. It's always good.
I would like
Okay.
Rome in the Caribbean. That sounds great.
Yeah, let's go. Are you good?
I think I'm good. I think I'm good right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, then in that case, I'm going to say bon voyage to all of you goobers. This has been the Funny Boat Podcast. Really, dinner does smell very good. And I'm going to pet that dog again.
I think Barnacles is out. He's like, yeah, right there is good.
You all are awesome. I love it.
This has been fantastic. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, guys. This was awesome. What a good time. Let's get a refill.